prosperous Friday. But remember, if the setups aren't there, there's no need to force it. We do not need to force anything. All right, so my question today is, how big is your appetite? So why is that important? Well, if you don't have an appetite for what you do, it's going to be very difficult for you to be successful. And I mean, you have to have a real appetite for it, because you have to be hungry. You have to be hungry for your dreams. That's going to help you get through when you get knocked down. That hunger is what's going to drive you. Think about a boxer. When he's in a fight, he gets knocked down. What gets him up is his hunger to win that fight, his hunger to be champion. Those guys that don't have that hunger won't get back up. I don't know how big of a fight fan a lot of you guys are, but back in the day, Mike Tyson was the baddest man alive. He was knocking people out in seconds in the first round. People thought he was just a freak of nature. Nobody could touch him. And then he ran into Buster Douglas, and he knocked Buster Douglas down. He almost didn't make it. When he got knocked down, he almost didn't get up. Those punches the punch he hit Buster Douglas with knocked everybody out up to that point. Nobody could get up from that. But it was his hunger for winning that fight. And I don't know if you know the story behind it, but his mother had passed away a couple days before the fight. And he told his mother before she passed away that he was going to beat Mike Tyson. So that hunger that he had drove him and willed him to succeed. That's the type of hunger that we have to have. And it has to be based on the right things. It's like for a doctor. The people that want to be a doctor, if you don't have a hunger for the sciences, you're not going to make it. And a lot of these people that say they want to be a doctor, they're trying to please their parents, they're trying to please other people, or they want to be a doctor just because of the money. But the money is not a strong enough hunger to make you succeed, because of all you have to go through to become a physician or to become a doctor. So you have to have that hunger, and trading is the same way. If your motivating factor is money, if you're in this because you think you can make money and you don't have to go to work and you don't have to listen to people telling you what to do, and if you don't have a passion for this, if you don't have the right hunger, it's going to be hard for you to be successful. And you have to take an honest look at yourself. When you get to a certain point, you have to start and you have to take an honest look at yourself and say, do I have that hunger? How big is my appetite for trading? Is my hunger just for money? Or is my hunger for the art of trading? So if you haven't sat down and thought about it yet, that'll be something good for you to think about this weekend. Because some of you may have to refocus yourself. I know I got to the point that I had to do the same thing. I had to refocus myself. I had to understand where my passion came from. And once I did that, I was able to start putting everything in place. Alright, real quick, we are doing Sneak Peek Wednesdays this month. If you're not a member of our community, the Average Joe Trading community, you can hang around after the pre-market show that we do on Wednesday, and you get a sneak peek at the first hour of our room. Now you'll get to see the same platform that I'm streaming in chat. You'll hear the commentary, you'll hear everything. You'll see me go in and out of trades. You'll see me win, you'll see me lose, you know, whatever happens that day. But you'll get a good feel for what we do in chat and what our focus is. Now, one of the the good things, and a lot of people have asked me about this, even the members have asked me about, you know, what's with these small study groups. And last night, I took a screenshot of kind of what it looks like. You know, we had a group of 6 people that formed a study group, and you get access to the room. You get presenter status, so you can share your screen, use the mic, and you guys have a good old-fashioned study session. Like I said, our goal is to make this a true education community. And in order to do that, you're going to have to be able to form these type study groups so that you can get together, um, talk about your trades, talk about your challenges. When you get together with a group of like-minded peers, you can really take off. So I just wanted to show you, this is what it looks like. You know, you don't want to have a whole bunch of people in your study group. You just want to come in and do it. And I'm only a part of it if I'm invited. You know, I open the room up for you, and then I'm out doing whatever I need to do. But it's all about you traders getting together, networking. That's why the personal messaging is opened up. You know, we want to have a real sense of community here. So I hope that gives you an idea about, you know, how the private study groups are going to work. All right, so let's look at some stocks here. Let's see if we have any hits. I know MJN is about. I've already seen that news, so not really interested in it. So let's look at Yelp. Let's see, YELP, what's going on with it? We have had some analyst activity. Let's see, 2 reiterated buy, outperform, hold, and neutral. Alright, so that was all on the heels of their earnings. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look at YELP. Don't want to see MJN. Let's see ICPT. ICPT. Let's see. Breaches 50-day. Provide update on phase 2. Okay, so they're going to make an announcement. I guess this movement is an anticipation to the announcement. It's a little bit out of our price range, but I'll take a look at it anyway. Because if it has a 3, 4, 5 point range, you know, 50 shares will pay us pretty nice. So we'll take a look at that as well. Alright, but let's take a look at Yelp first. See what we got with Yelp. I know some of you asked me about X in chat, and you can see it really hasn't made any move. It doesn't have a significant gap enough to where it even triggers the regular gap scan. So not really much there. Alright, YELP. Yep, we're starting to roll over here. This was on a little bit of volume. Let's take a look at the daily and see what's what. We're trading around 36. So this will probably be the ceiling right here for today. We have got down below all of these moving averages. That's not what I want. I don't know which one is going to be the best. Alright, how does this look? Alright, so I'll mark this 38.23. This is going to be the 90 day. So we make this orange. And I doubt if we'll get down to the 200 today. I doubt it. But this will be the floor anyway. 34, 37. Doubt if it'll get this far down. Alright, now let's look at the 5-minute chart and see what we've got. Wow, this is in the gap. This will be the gap I want to trade in. It's a little over a point. This would have been the gap, but a little late, a little behind this morning. So hopefully we'll get a pullback and we may be able to trade in this gap at the open. But yep, looks pretty good. I'm gonna definitely have it on my list. Alright, let's look at MJN. Oh no, not MJN. ICPT. We know. Let's take a look at the 5 minutes, see what it's doing. Oh man, this thing ran up 30 bucks in the last 15 minutes. Last 10 minutes it ran up $30. Wow. But it does have a wicked spread, so let's see what kind of windows it has. So if the spread comes together a little bit better, see what kind of opportunities we may have. Okay, so we gapped all the way up. Let's see, here's the 200, 135.97, just about 134. 136. It's the 200. And we gapped up from here. Wow. gapped up from 100 all the way down here. So this may be interesting today. I'd be curious as to how this thing reacts. Mm. Alright, so that's about it. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. See what, yeah, this thing has some awesome windows in it. So definitely if we get the spread back in on track, I mean this would be a good opportunity. If you have, I mean, even with 50 shares, if you get a couple points out of this, that's a decent haul. But we've got to get the spreads. The spread has to come together for this to make sense. You can't really trade anything with this huge spread. It's like right now it's like 95 cents. And then so it's practically untradeable right now. But then it's coming up because in a minute we had a 5-cent spread, now it's $1. Now it's 82 cents. So that's something that we have to look at. We got to make sure that the spreads are coming together, and this would be a stock where the price action would allow us to trade it. So definitely have it on watch. Whether it's tradable or not remains to be seen, but we'll definitely have it on watch. So looking at YELP, ICPT, and I'm going to take a look at Shield. I know it's under $10, but it's a stock I traded in the past, and I want to see what's up with it. See, Sears Holding Company. They announced some restructuring. So let's take a look at the chart here. Let's take a look at the chart, man. Where's the chart? Here we go. SHLD. Yeah, this is nice. Let's look at the daily chart. See what kind of windows of opportunity we're going to have here. So right now we're pulling back to the 20-day right here. At 770, because we're at 788 right now, so we're kind of pulling back to the 20-day. Let's see if there's anything else in that area. No. So this looks like we've got some room to work. Definitely have some room to work. Alright, let's go back to the 5 minute. Let's look at this. See, we're pulling back. We're sitting on the 9, the 20. There's a VWAP right here. So it's looking pretty good. Is it a 5 cent tick stock though? That's the question. Nope, not a 5 cent tick stock. We just have a pretty nice spread though, like a 10-cent spread at this point. Hopefully that will come together. Yep. So we'll sit back and watch these. I'm gonna watch SHLD as well. So I've got YELP, ICPT, and SHLD. Those are my main watches for today. So I'm looking at this for pre-market trade if we get a bounce off of VWAP and this 20, this level here. I wouldn't mind getting in this, off of this level if we can hold this. That's going to be the question. That's the $1 million question. Have to see if we get a bounce and a hold. And we'll see if this can recover going into the open. I wouldn't dare hold this through the open though, but I'll be waiting and looking to see what this does. See, ATVI, let me see what that looks like. Yep, it does have a nice gap. Let me see what the deal is with it. I don't know why it's not showing up. There it is. It's not on my scan because of the float, but it's on the borderline. So ATVI, it's only a 550 million share float. So we'll take a look at it. But I've got my eye on shield here. See if this 5 minute candle holds. I don't see, what's the catalyst on this? I don't see any news on it right here. Does anybody know the catalyst on ATVI? I think the chart looks good, but I don't know the catalyst on it. Earnings, okay. Yeah, okay, I see it now. I see it, earnings. Yeah, so they seem to be doing pretty good if they're buying back. See, we're at 44.20. So let's see what we've got going up. Mark our pivot points out here. And we got a high of 45.55. So get the 1 minute chart here. So we can find the 5 minute chart. We got some tight windows here, but if the catalyst is strong enough, we can drive through it. This is the 52-week high up here, 45.54. So if we can drive through this, we'll be in good shape. So this will be on what? Excuse me. Excuse me. This will be on watch going into the open. So we'll be looking at that as well. I will cut this list down. All right, so I'm gonna try. Um, I'm going in shield on this bounce here. Let me switch screens right quick. Just to see, we're holding up. I'm looking for this bounce to see if we can get this bounce back up and possibly test this. We're gonna, up through 8. If it doesn't bounce, if we can't hold this, then I'll take it off. But I'm looking to see if we can get a little bounce here on this. Looking to see what happens when when the 9 o'clock traders come in. So right now I've got in right here at 784. We'll stop out on a loss of these levels. So we've got a lot of support here. And we have right here at 770. See if I can get that in here. Right here at 770, we've got the we've got the 20-day moving average here. So with all of this support, that's what prompted me to give this a chance pre-market. All right, so that's what I'm looking at right now today. I'll be watching YELP, ICPT, SHLD, and ATVI. And I'm trying this pre-market trade here on SHLD. I want to see it push through 8 and run up here towards 820 up towards the pre-market high. There is a level here at 8, and if it can't push that, then I have to take it off. It's not going to do anything. So I've got a level. Let me go ahead and draw this on here. So there's a level at 8. A regular daily level right here at 8. And then there's one at 846. So, well, 847 is close enough. So this may not be in play until after the open, but we'll see. This is what we'll be watching through pre-market. All right, guys. So I'll be signing off YouTube live now. Getting ready to go back over here and back in the chat. So don't forget, we have, if you're still on the fence about joining us, don't forget we've got our sneak peek Wednesdays where you can get a sneak peek into what we're doing. This is the exact platform, the one that you're seeing now. This is what you see all day in chat. This is my trading platform here. You'll see me go in and out of trades. Um, wins, losses. I'll tell you, just like I just talked about the setup I'm looking at, what levels I'm looking at holding. If they don't hold, then I know to get out. Um, this is everything. And then when it opens, when the market opens, these scans start firing off. All right, and then about 10:30 or so, I'll fire up Benzinga and I'll have it going. I don't like to have the squat going the first hour. I like to focus on my watch list and what I've got going on, and then once that's done, I'm out. I'm listening to Benzinga, listening to see if there's any breaking news. Still watching this news feed. This gets expanded after 10:30, and I'm watching the news feeds as well. All right, guys. So have a great weekend. Stay safe, and remember, trade for skill, not for money.